Hey friends, it's Kari from the Alford Homestead, and today we are sharing with you all some special news. If you have not already seen the title, we are expecting our fourth child. So if these sort of videos interest you, then this one is for you. Okay, so my husband Rob and I are expecting our fourth child. I am in my 26th week of pregnancy now, so I am almost into the third trimester. So you'll start to see me getting bigger in some videos, and maybe you've already noticed I am slightly out of breath when it comes to the voiceovers. So if you're wondering why, that's why. So I've got some notes here in front of me so that I can keep myself straight here a little bit. So we are due in June, towards the ends of June. I currently have 3 girls, 4.5, 2.5, and about 1.5 years old. So by the time this baby comes, we will have 3 under 3 and a just turned 5-year-old. So we will have lots of little ones around, and I just figured I would film this because the kids are such a huge part of homesteading and our life here in general. We plan to homeschool and homestead with them, and so welcoming a fourth child is just a huge blessing for us. So we are planning on another home birth. My last baby was born in this house, and it was by far our favorite experience. The comfort of your own home, being able to labor in your own home, and your kids are there. You don't have to be away from your children for 2 days or 2 nights. You don't have to be in a hospital setting where people are coming and knocking on your door every 2 hours to wake up baby and mama, and we can just rest. And it's such a more peaceful experience overall. I've been fortunate enough that all of my labors have been natural. So I haven't had to have any interventions like a C-section or anything, no epidurals or anything like that. And that's just how I prefer. It's not to say that's the better way or anything. But for me, having no control over the lower portion of my body scares me to death, more so than just feeling the pain and the pressure and everything that comes with birth. So for me, that's always been my route. So for those of you curious, I do have videos explaining the births of all of my previous children. I will link those here for you guys if that interests you. So I'm expecting this labor to be about 5 to 8 hours long, like my last one, and pushing hopefully only a few minutes. Each pregnancy, I feel like labor has gotten so much easier for me to handle mentally and physically as well. So I don't actually see an OB, I see a midwife, which again adds to my feeling of, or my level of comfort in birth. I feel like I have white coat syndrome, especially when I am in labor, so it's harder for me to relax. But with a midwife, it's almost like she's just your best friend who's there to support you. So we kind of get the best of both worlds, in my opinion. Okay, and most of the time I go past my due date, so even though this baby is due towards the end of June, it might not be till the very last few days of June, so right in the middle of summer. So we will see. I always go past 40 weeks. My first child was born exactly 41 weeks, and then my last 2 were about 40 and a half. So unfortunately, I mean, I'm grateful for that. I'd rather have a late baby than too early. We have big babies though, so we're always pushing out, or I'm always pushing out 9-pounders. 9.5 pounds was my largest baby. But thankfully, everything has gone smoothly. It's just that we have big babies. So we have found out the gender. So with our last pregnancy, we did not find out the gender. It was a surprise birth, and that was great. We've done both. The first 2, we found out the gender, and the last one we did not. This time we are finding out the gender. We have found out we are having a boy. So after 3 girls, we are having a boy, which I'm still really shocked about because I've never looked at the ultrasound image and seen a boy. My husband and I are both kind of like flabbergasted still. It would not have made any difference to us if it had been another girl. In fact, I think we were expecting a 4th girl, but we are getting a boy, and we have no idea what the name will be. We are notoriously bad about names. I don't know about y'all, but figuring out names has been so hard, and with each consecutive child, it seems to get that much harder. So brainstorming names is never really that great for us. It's always like down to the last minute when we figure out a name. So our kids are all pretty close in age, if you've noticed. So there's about a 2-year age gap with my first 2, and that's the largest age gap we have. The age gap between my younger 2 is only about 14 and a half months. And that's because I breastfeed all of my babies exclusively, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to do so. And so pretty much with all of my previous pregnancies, we just sort of let my body decide when it gets pregnant again. So after our first child, it took us a little bit longer. We were trying, but not really trying. And I have a whole video on that about why I think it took us a little bit longer to conceive our second child. And then we expected to be waiting a little bit as well to conceive our third. Well, I was 4 months postpartum, and boom, I got pregnant. So we've kind of just never really worried about birth control postpartum, because with exclusively breastfeeding, you tend to get your cycle a little bit later. So that's how we've always done it. So now that this is our 4th child, I'm actually not sure what we're going to do. Are we going to have another one? This is the first pregnancy where I've actually been able to say, I don't know. We don't know if we will continue to have more. At this point, it's just sort of, let's see when the 4th child gets here, how we feel in our hearts about adding another child. Pregnancy, despite it being textbook pregnancies for me, they're always very difficult, just mentally and physically. The exhaustion weighs down on you, especially when you've got a homestead to run, your husband works a regular job outside the home, and I've got 3 toddlers that are all very close in age together. It is exhausting, and we do plan on homeschooling all of our children. I have pretty much been homeschooling kindergarten loosely. She's not officially in kindergarten yet, but so those are all factors that will affect if we do go ahead and have more children in the future. I will say I've had 2 main goals. Loosely, you can only control so much. But I wanted to be done having kids by the time I'm 35, so I definitely still have some years buffer in case we do want to have another child. And I wanted to preferably have most of our children here with us before my oldest officially starts school. So that will be later this fall. We will have 4 here, and we will kind of get through that newborn stage before we have to officially register my oldest for school. So I'm glad we will have that time together as a family to adjust as a family of 6 before we are in school full mode. So I will insert a short clip here with a belly shot for you guys, for those of you who are interested in that. I always love seeing pregnancy clips and images. I think it's such a beautiful thing. So again, so we're unsure if this will be my last pregnancy or not. Time will tell us what we should do. We are still young enough, fortunately, that we can wait a little while if we want to. But my husband and I are both of the same opinion, where we would just like to get all of our children done and here, bring them earthside, if you will, together, rather than having a larger age gap. I didn't have my first child until I was 27, and if you want a large family, I don't think 4 is really large, but For some it is. If you want more than just 2 or 3 kids, that's a little on the later side. So we have been hustling to sort of catch up, if you will. And now that I am 32, I just turned 32, I will have this baby, at 32 years old. I still have a few years before I feel like I want to be done having children. So I know plenty of women, strong, wonderful mothers who have children into their 40s, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I don't know that I could personally do it. So I think 35, 36 has always kind of been my personal cutoff date. But again, time will tell, our hearts will tell us as we settle into this new journey of being a family of 6. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you guys want to have more pregnancy updates or how I'm preparing for a natural home birth, let me know in the comments down below and I will get that out to you guys. Pregnancy and birth are just fascinating topics for me, and if you guys love to see that, let me know and I will get that out for you guys. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much to our followers and to new followers. We are steadily growing our channel here, so it's a very exciting time for us to be sharing our lives here on our homestead. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time.